All right. How's it going, everyone? We are going to be doing Sire of Seven Deaths. And I wanted to use this opportunity to talk about my approach to deck building. Am I doing okay? I feel like I'm probably a little too loud here, but let me just check here. Okay, I think that's better. Okay, so the way I approach creatures when I'm building decks is I look for cards that have a lot of immediate impact when they hit the board. So there's a couple different things that I think about when I'm playing a creature. Like, am I thinking of it as a spell or a support? And what I mean by that is a lot of times when I play a card, I'm looking at enter the battlefield effects or effects that will continually provide me benefit. So, for example, we got Hoarding Dragon. When this creature enters the battlefield or attacks, destroy the top 4 cards of your library. So what does that do for us? It enables other cards that will benefit from having things in your graveyard, such as Wild Research. The thing about Sire of Seven Deaths, it has a lot of really good abilities attached to it, but for one, it's very expensive. It's 23 mana and it's colorless, so it's a little bit more difficult to cheat it into play than some colored creatures. And it also does not do anything extra when it enters the battlefield, attacks, or is removed from the battlefield. So, for all the different things that it has going for it in terms of evergreens, it actually does not impact the board that much. It's a great card when things are rolling and you have ways to, pump it up or reinforce it or do anything like that. So it does end up being a pretty solid creature in that regard. But when it comes to playing creatures for me, I'm looking at everything as in my deck as a way to reach a certain goal. So a deck like this is very aggro. It's just meant to win fast in a quick battle. So for that reason, Sire of Seven Deaths isn't actually like one of the best cards to put in here because it's very expensive. I don't necessarily have a great way to cheat it out. I mean, Over the Top will help fill it with mana if I get all the other things on the board down first, along with Progenitus. But when it comes to actually doing anything, once it hits the board, I have to wait until it's able to attack. Hey, what's up? Whale card for sure. Is it? Yeah, I thought so. It's a collector box card, right? This looks nasty, but it needs to do more. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying here. It's got a ton of good things going for it as a creature when it attacks, but like I said, it's just not a lot of impact when it hits the board. So it's not a card I will ever favor when I'm looking to build the type of decks that I like to build, which are ones that each card kind of has a synergy with each other and it's helping to either win faster, get more cards on the board, do extra damage or life loss. And for that reason, it's not one that's going to make the cut in a lot of my decks. However, once this card becomes non-exclusive and you pull it from a pack, I think you will like it. I think it's a good enough card to mess around with and play. It'll be a fun one to master when you're to that point. But, like if you're early on in the game and, you just happen to pull this from a Foundations pack and you're only like a few months in, it's going to be your best creature for a long time because you can just put it anywhere. And as your collection grows, you'll find ways to either put it out quicker or you will, find cards that will replace it to fit your playstyle a little bit better. So, it even though it has all of those abilities on it, it's kind of vanilla for that reason. Like I keep saying, it doesn't do anything when it impacts or when it hits the battlefield. It doesn't necessarily help you win that much faster. 7/7 is pretty good, but at 23 mana, that's a lot of investment into a card that's could likely be taken off the board from you. It's a good card for beginners because the ward actually is going to make it so that your opponent isn't going to be able to target it with targeted removal spells, right? Most of the time. I mean, some players might pay that 7 life just to get rid of it. Actually, paying 7 life to get rid of a 23 mana cost card is actually not a bad trade off. So, the supposed hexproof isn't likely to be that impactful to keep it alive. So, as long as you're able to keep it on the board, it's going to do a lot for you. But that's kind of the issue that this card has. It has to stay on the board. It takes a lot to get it onto the board through normal means. And it's just kind of there once it's on the board. So I don't necessarily consider it a chase card for all of those reasons. But I do think it is a good card especially when you consider it for players that might happen to pull it randomly from a pack and they're a little bit newer to the game. So, with all that said, I do want to share with you how the gameplay goes with it. So, it's just the deck I threw together. I love it with Angelic Destiny, makes a pretty good wall. Yeah, but that is true. But that's a lot of mana invested into a card that is a little bit not doing a lot for you because it's still like, especially in Platinum, when creatures can easily be removed, it's not doing enough for you when it hits the board. You have to invest a lot into it for kind of a minimal payoff, in my opinion. I think Vraska with Angelic Destiny is a better overall payoff because it's so much cheaper to get on the board. And you're almost doing a lot of the same sort of things. Sure, it doesn't have lifelink or menace, but the lifelink is really good. I think that is one of its biggest benefits. It provides lifelink to all the colors, especially mono red that can't have Atraxa, which is right there. Speaking of, is a very similar card. Okay, we got Chaos Warp down. That's good. Not sure where all my creatures are. Grab a Moonshaker. Okay, there's another Hoarding Dragon. Progenitus. I think Progenitus is maybe a... no, I don't know. Is Progenitus better than Sire? I don't think so either. Progenitus wasn't a chase card for me either. Okay, we're getting the Sire down. That's good. Get some good over top going. Okay, that's nice. I could just swing for a fat strike here. Got our wild research going here. Oh, that was sweet. Wild research doesn't usually go that well for us. You get brass, sure. Mm, take all these supports. Nice. Another over the top. Man, I'm going to miss over the top when it leaves standard, which I think is soon. Well, actually, I know it's in next fall. Yeah, these high cost cards are cool when you're able to um, cut down on the casting cost of them in that way. That was a fun deck, or that was a fun battle for me. Took a little bit to get going, but yeah, that hoarding dragon is really what helped with this deck because all the destruction of my library made it so that the wild research would get me a lot of mana. And, cards like Sire of Seven Deaths don't really do that for me. They're kind of like the end stage card that you play when you're trying to win the game. But there are so many routes to go with that a creature isn't always going to be the best solution for that unless it's enabling other strategies. And I just don't think Sire of Seven Deaths is really doing that for us. Okay, there's our Hoarding Dragon. We'll save our over the top. Actually, I don't really need one there, so we'll get that going. Okay, we'll get the Mox Ruby down, and that will enable us to get the Progenitus on the board. Not now. Okay, we want that wild research. Nice. Uh-oh. Kind of a scary cascade. You don't usually love Raw getting a solid cascade on us. I really don't like that when Progenitus dies, it um, tends to benefit your opponent more than you. It's another knock I have against it. God, yeah, that turn really wrecked like everything we were doing here. Oh shoot. No, we have all of our cards with mana in them. That kind of sucks. I suppose we could do Wild Research. No, that didn't do anything for us, really. Okay, that does, though. Not now. Let's get rid of all their crap and reset. Oh, are those all gold tokens? That sucks for us, but that's okay. Hopefully we can recover a bit from that. We're going to save our brass as tunnel grinders. And try and get this going here. See what he plays against us. Okay. Alright, so we can finally play our tunnel grinders here. I actually didn't mind that because there was nothing for him to put in the put mana into. Sure. Okay, we can Chaos Warp maybe? Maybe. I don't know. Okay, yeah, this sucks for us. I don't know. I think we probably lost this one. Not seeing a lot here. Okay, well that helps. Suppose we could do Bone Horde. Get that out of here. Is that over the top? Okay. Yeah, I think we can play that. What do we want to do here? Do we want to play Progenitus and Wild Research and try and fill up our Hoarding Dragon? I suppose. This is not going well for us. Yeah, sure. Tunnel Grinder? Okay. Okay, well, if we don't win here, we lose. But I don't know. Do we have a shot? We might. If he plays one spell on us, though, we're dead. Hit him with that. Wow. He picked the absolute worst swap to make. There is no reason we should have won this battle, but hey, I'll take it. That was silly. I mean, maybe he expected to. Maybe Greg thought that avoiding hitting my gold tokens would somehow keep me from playing anything, but it didn't really matter at that point. All you needed to do was play one spell. Sire saved you. I guess in a way, yeah, barely. We just happened to get it out at the right time, but he was he really had my number, and Greg did Greg things and let me win. Okay, we'll hit the mother load. Get that Mox down. Get a wild research. Get a Sire. Oh yeah, I should have did that before casting Tunnel Grinder, but that's okay. That Chaos Warp, that'll be good. Oh, I thought that was the Mox. Oh well. This guy Rulik Mons is actually kind of a decent card. I played it in like Silver Duel a few turns, a few battles, and it did okay for me. Grab Hugs. Let me know if there's anything you guys want me to try with Sire of Seven Deaths specifically. I just don't think it's that fun to build around because there's not anything that that's an obvious pairing for him. I know you said Angelic Destiny, but you kind of throw that on any creature that's similar, and you'll get a relatively similar effect. I guess we could take out a support. So he's an Eldrazi, so that means I can maybe look into cards that interact with Eldrazi's, but I don't know. Is that more of a legacy thing? As far as legacy goes, speaking of Eldrazi, I suppose um, you can pair them up with the Piggy and get a lot out of it there, but there are just so many more cards that I'd rather play than this one in Legacy. But like I said, depending on where you're at in the game, if you're pretty new to the game and you pull this one, it's going to carry you through a lot. Because it's a solid card in that regard, but it's just not doing a lot for us there. Like if I had something like Dragonhawk in this deck instead, there'd be so much more I could do with it. Let me see though. Maybe we can just take out Sire and put something else in there that hopefully can, or no, take out Progenitus, I mean, not Sire. And see if there's anything that interacts with Eldrazi. Echoes of Eternity can copy one, but we're not making a lot of improved gems, so it's not going to get us a lot of a benefit. Titan's Vanguard. Speak fast. Okay. This only works with creatures with Devoid, and Sire does not have Devoid either. That's not doing anything. Exile it. That card is not colorless. Gain X mana. Oh. Oh, wait. Oh, that's an opposing creature, but that's not doing anything for your first creature gains haste and, well, I guess that's I'm curious. This might suck, but this will give our Sire haste, which is kind of what it's missing. Yeah, but Titan's Vanguard is GG with any creature you pair it with. That's not really saying much about Sire, though. Titan's Vanguard and a couple of 1/1s will win you battles, so that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, it's a random Mox. I guess we can keep a Chaos Warp at the ready. Exactly your point. What? I didn't see you make a point. I don't think I need that support. Her passive is kind of cool. Like if you're searching for something specific, and if you're trying to draw into a card that you want, it kind of helps in that regard. TV is a much better card. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. But you hadn't said that yet. Where is my Sire? So this is why I'm using that first, or that passive to try and draw into it. Okay, there's the Sire. Discard a spell card at random. I guess right now we don't need either of those, so this will help us get to casting it. Hit the mother load. Okay. Okay, that's an okay pairing. Making him a 17/7 makes him a much better blocker. It's too bad that buff isn't permanent. that would make it a much better card. The line breaker, dude. I'm talking about. Okay, we'll do this too, cause why not? Chaos Warp. And we got a 10 buff on our Sire with haste. So that's an okay pairing there. There are other ways to give it haste, of course, but that works for our purposes there. So there you have it. Sire of Seven Deaths, pretty good card. If you happen to pull it as a beginner, it's going to be fantastic for you. It's going to do a lot. It's going to carry you through a lot of battles, I think. But, you know, as you get further and further into the game, you get into the platinum levels, this card is going to be less and less useful as you go. Like you said, you're going to, or like we were talking about, you're just going to end up replacing it for cards that do a lot more for you when they hit the board. There's just not enough immediate impact with this card. So, yeah, that is it for this one. Hope you guys like that slightly different format. I kind of front loaded all the info so that you can decide if you want to watch the gameplay or not. And yeah, let me know if you like it better this way, or you just like to see the gameplay first and then make my hear my determination afterwards. So yeah, leave a comment, hit the like button if you have not yet, and yeah.